All right, boys, it is cloudy and a little drizzly today and mid 70s on the 8th of June. Sunday message coming. We had a hell of a Saturday yesterday, highlighted by the McDonald's video on the Andy Saberhagen channel. Check that one out if you have not already. It's a great video. I don't care what people say. I know one of the cheeseburgers looked a little rough there, but it's typical McD's fare. I'm sure it was still good. The double, I think, was a really good choice, and I really connect with his ordering of 2 burgers and the fries and no drink. So I think he did a hell of a job maximizing and only having to pay like $6 by using the Skanky app. But whatever, it worked. He got the free fries, so screw the naysayers. And yesterday we had the continuation of the summer season, the June section of movie watching with a one for all the marbles. No, not a one for all the marbles. This one picked by Duck Meat XXX. I really trust his movie picks. Just like I trust Shawkinator's picks on the DJ picks for afternoon trivia. Duck Meat with a 3 selection pick, picking one of our must-watches for June, Sleepaway Camp, 1983. I've seen this so many times, and I love this film. Felissa Rose as Angela Baker. Jonathan Tiersten plays Ricky, her cousin, and then Karen Fields as the Judy is awesome in this. Christopher Collett is the love interest of Angela Paul, and then Catherine Kami is Meg, who is the strange camp counselor who likes the head guy who's in like pushing 70. Mike Kellen plays Mel. That's that guy, Mike Kellen, longtime actor. Just saw him a few months back in a Twilight Zone episode. He goes way back to like the 50s with his acting career. Mike Kellen is really funny in this with the jacked up socks. And we have Paul D'Angelo as Ronnie, the buffed up counselor, the caring counselor. I don't know, I just thought he was, just remember that kid being a really good swimmer. And then we had Desiree Gold, who just died a few years ago, as Aunt Martha. It was really hams it up in this. She's really good. And also an appearance by Robert Earl Jones as the assistant cook at the camp, Camp Arawak, and then he becomes the head cook. He plays Ben. Robert Earl Jones, in case you don't know, the father of James Earl Jones. All right, that is one of our must-watches for June. We have 4 left. We have Friday the 13th. We have The Girl in Lover's Lane, 1960. We have Red Zone Cuba, 1966. And we have Airplane 2, 1982. So chipping away at the must-watches. And that was definitely a must-watch. Last night's feature presentation. Sleepaway Camp, 1983. Which spawned 3 sequels, I believe. Sleepaway Camp 2, Unhappy Campers, 1988, I think, or 87. And then Sleepaway Camp 3, 1988 or 9, both with Pam Springsteen as Angela. And then we had Return to Sleepaway Camp, I think it was like 2010, which had Felissa Rose. That one's horrible, I've heard. A rest in peace that happened a couple days back. I did not mention this one. Tom Rafferty, former center and guard for the Dallas Cowboys, passing away at, I think, 70. He played for the Cowboys from 1976 to 1989. He got a Super Bowl ring, a second year in the league. He was a mainstay on that very good offensive line for the Cowboys. And he was one of the very, very few players who had a Super Bowl ring on the Landry teams and then crossed over to the Jimmy Johnson era. So his last year was 1989, which was Jimmy's first year, and that ended up being his final season. The only other one I can think of on that team that had a ring with the Landry Cowboys, and then played with Jimmy Johnson was Ed Jones, the former #1 overall pick, who also played his last season in 1989, and was replaced by Tony Tolbert on the defensive end by Jimmy Johnson, who was going with the youth movement. And then there was an outcry from a revolt from the fans to get Ed Jones enough starts to have 200 career starts on the Cowboys, and Jimmy relented on this, and he got to 200 starts with the Dallas Cowboys for the record, but it was later broken by Jason Witten. All right, so rest in peace, Tom Rafferty, who also must mention was in the original Tecmo. So the original Tecmo Bowl only had 4 offensive linemen per team, but Tom Rafferty was one of these guys. I think Nate Newton was on that team too. Was on Tecmo and Super Tecmo. So rest in peace, Tom Rafferty. We had the current water temperature at the beach area is we had another uptick. So remember yesterday we had that 7/10 of a degree uptick, and then to last night, as of this morning, another 7/10 of a degree uptick. We are at now 73.4 degrees, the water temperature, which is a record now or a high for 2025 at the beach area. That means things are really starting to get nice and warm there. 73.4. That's pretty good. I think I can handle a head dunk with that. Congratulations, Coco Gauff, on the win yesterday in the women's French Open final. A kind of an upset, taking down the #1 first American to win the French Open in a number of years. And so hell of a job by her with a great comeback. And we also had, what else happened yesterday? Oh yeah, the Belmont. Check out the video on the Frank Addington channel. I nailed the Kentucky Derby winner back in early May. And then yesterday, just a few minutes before the race, nailed it again. Went with Sovereignty both times, rode it to the finish line. Peters does it again. Mr. Met also picked Sovereignty, #2. And, yeah, so Peters nails it again. Tears were the silence in the room after he dominated in that win. He was not the favorite in either of those races, by the way. Journalism was the favorite. Was the favorite yesterday. I forget who was the favorite at the Kentucky Derby, but Peters nails it again. Tears were were being held back, I could tell. And all right, so and then today we have the French Open going on right now. I'm going to try to get back in time to see the end of it. Yannick Sinner of Italy and the great King Carlos going for back-to-back of Spain. Who are you rooting for? I just want to see a great 5-set ending. So we'll recap that tomorrow. The winner, hopefully, God willing, confidently, at Bear Scott Stadium. Scott. All right, see you guys for trivia.